All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, you guys already know that shills are gonna shill, right? That's just what they do. And we have another article here from good old Stacey Henley. This particular writer over at The Gamer takes their activism very seriously, and any chance they get, they are trying to run counterculture to whatever the people are trying to say that something is woke or whatever the case may be. They will come out like a roach and they would just completely say the opposite. Whether or not they truly believe it, that doesn't matter. All that means is that let's defend their ideology because that's the most important thing to them. So they wrote an article that says the Tiana Disney ride isn't breaking down because it's too woke. Now, this is an oversimplification of an argument that is extremely nuanced, and she knows it, right? She, he, whatever this thing is, she knows it, that it is a nuanced argument. It has nothing to do with actual wokeness itself, but this person will try to make it a thing where they're going to try to pretend as if, oh, all people are complaining about is that there's a black lead, there's a black person in the picture now. That's what people are complaining about. No, that's not the case at all. What people are complaining about, let me set the tone for you people who tend to click off the video early. What the actual people are talking about out there is that Splash Mountain was a ride that was loved by everyone. Genuinely, it was the most popular ride, or one of the most popular rides by far, and people were highly upset when the ride got taken down because people like you complained that it was racist, right? You people, Stacey Henley, complained. People like you complained that the ride was racist. Nobody saw it. Only you saw it because you're inherently racist and you need to make everything a projection. But you saw it as racist. And unfortunately, Disney being Disney, what they are now, they listened to the very small minority, which is you, and ended up deconstructing Splash Mountain and erecting this terrible mess in its wake. Now, apparently, she's trying to run damage control for it and say that it breaking down, the ride breaking down early on in its inception is totally normal. And it's happens to every single ride. So let's get into this article, guys, from The Gamer. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. So we got some highlights here. Splash Mountain has been replaced by Tiana's Bayou Adventure. As with most rides, the first week has included stoppages for safety reasons. None of this needs to be a culture war issue, and yet here you are writing an article making it one. Shocker. Now, she's right. This doesn't have to be a culture war issue. Unfortunately, Disney removing Splash Mountain due to racism has inherently made Tiana's Bayou Adventure now a culture war issue because this thing was erected only because of DEI. That's the only reason why it exists. Otherwise, it would still be Splash Mountain. It doesn't have to, it's amazing to me that people can be this retarded. And honestly, I don't think it's a retardation thing. I think it's a genuine obsession with overall identity politics that they will just shill no matter what. And sometimes when they shill too hard because they know they shouldn't be shilling at this point, it comes off as retardation because they're trying to literally mince words and dance around a subject, knowing that they're completely wrong in every aspect in this subject. So they're still going to do it. They're still going to shill. They have to. So they're going to put out lies, and sometimes it's not going to make sense to the point where it's going to sound so stupid, just like this. But then it says on May 31st, Disney Splash Mountain flume set off for the first time. It was one of the most iconic theme park rides in the world, having been operational since the summer of 1989. In that time, it has witnessed dozens, maybe even hundreds of changes to the Disney theme parks it was once a starring attraction of, but the time comes for us all. The reason it was shut down? Because it was racist. And in the worm-addled brains of today's culture war warriors, that means its replacement is woke. And this is the sole reason for its early teething problems. That's literally what it is. Now, oh my God, bro, she literally just proved my point in the first paragraph. This is incredible to me. You proved my point. You just called Splash Mountain racist. It was not a racist ride. And because it was replaced with a non-racist version, which ironically features a black person as the main attraction, this literally, they literally said, oh my God, we're so sorry for being racist. Here's a black leading ride. Forgive us. That is the ultimate definition of DEI woke nonsense. That is what it is. Oh my God. God. They replaced it with Tiana's Bayou Adventure only because they wanted to avoid more claims of racism. And they knew if they put a black face on the front of it, that people like you, retarded idiots like you, would not call it racist anymore. And you fell for it, hook, line, and sinker, you idiot. This is amazing. Splash Mountain is not just an iconic ride. As someone who rode it once several years ago, I'm sure that's not the only thing you ride. It was also a great ride and a quintessential example of what a log flume ride should be. However, it was based on the 1946 movie Song of the South, which is all about slaves who like being slaves. That kind of logic might fly in Harry Potter, but in the real world, we tend to think that's a bad thing to say. In order to keep the basic water theme, but take away the connection to slavery from a children's theme park ride, it has been replaced by Tiana's Bayou Adventure, based on The Princess and the Frog, which officially opened earlier this week. Ladies and gentlemen, there was nothing racist about Splash Mountain. The only people, and I'll say it again, that saw racism in this ride are lunatics like this who rode this ride and looked around and said, gee, what can I complain about today? That's what they did. Instead of enjoying the ride and enjoying themselves in a theme park, they were looking around to see what they can point at and claim racism at for their article on The Gamer. So again, Splash Mountain got removed and replaced by DEI, good old Tiana's Bayou, whatever the case may be. Now, let's talk about this particular video I have here on the good old Twatter. Now, this particular video comes to us from someone called Jonas J. Campbell. And it said, Tiana's Bayou Adventure has done several in-show exits today. The ride keeps breaking down, and guests must be escorted off by cast members with work lights on. Credit to the channel called Farm Ritterville for this footage that confirms what I was hearing. So now let's play this video to showcase what it's really like to ride this particular ride. And keep in mind, this has been going on for longer than just 1 week, like Stacy likes to pretend. Listen to this.
Well, this was our second lap, and the work lights came on, and we stopped at this point, and we've been here about 5 minutes, and they just turned off the music and said on the PA that cast members will be by to evacuate us momentarily. So we're going to get evacuated off Tiana's Splash Mountain Bayou Adventure. Woo!
Now, doesn't that look like so much fun to you guys? Honestly, it looks like an incredible time to be at at the theme park. This is literally what's happening quite often at Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and they're trying to convince you otherwise. But the fact is, this ride was rushed because they know that Splash Mountain was huge for them. Splash Mountain was really huge for the park. And the fact that they had to get rid of it due to racism was a big hit for them. And they couldn't afford to do that. So they're hoping that Tiana's Bayou Adventure, which again, Splash Mountain is such a cooler name, right? Splash Mountain is a much cooler name. Tiana's Bayou Adventure sounds retarded. Like, I'm sorry, it's too long. It's a mouthful. Like, nobody wants to say all that. Splash Mountain sounds way cooler. So nobody's excited for Tiana's Bayou Adventure. That's just the truth of it. And unfortunately for them, it's not going to click well like Splash Mountain did with a lot of people. It's just not. So they rushed the process. They rushed the building of this particular ride. They brought everything. Even the animatronics are broken. Like, I did a bunch of stories on Tiana's Bayou Adventure showcasing just how broken the overall ride is, and you're trying to say, oh, this happens to all the rides, yeah, for the first week. Well, guess what? We're almost like, what, a few weeks now, almost a month now, dealing with this nonsense, and the ride is still broken. It doesn't matter how many people go, the ride still breaks down. It's insane. So yeah, it didn't have to be a culture war issue, but guess what, Stacy? By writing articles like this and admitting that you were one of the people who called Splash Mountain racist, you made it a culture war issue. So you don't get to complain about people now reacting to said issue and having their own personal say about it. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.